Yep. We're rolling, so whenever you're ready.
All right. So, how long have you been playing?
I've been playing video games professionally for over 11 years now.
Okay, so over 11 years professionally, but how long have you just been playing?
Oh, in general, I guess when
Yeah.
I was a little kid, maybe like 5 years old, my parents gave me a Nintendo system. But I guess like the first time I actually started playing, like actually meeting new friends by going to my local arcade back at home in New York, probably when I was 10 years old.
So, what is your game that you play?
My main game that everyone knows me for is for Street Fighter 4. It's a really big game that came out from Capcom in 2009, and it just kind of blew up the whole scene, and everyone got interested. But before that, I was playing like Street Fighter 3, Marvel's Capcom 2, and this is during an underground scene that not a lot of people knew. But due to Street Fighter 4 and their collaboration with GameStop, they've had this whole national tournament, and everyone just got into it again, and
Yeah.
it just blew up fighting games basically.
Nice, nice. All right, so you talk about the fighting game community, and it's sort of like a niche sort of thing. What do you think makes it different than other kind of gaming cultures? Like, how would you characterize it?
I think the fighting game community is very different from, like, let's say a first-person shooters game or a computer game. I think that the fighting game, the way it represents, like, you see two characters fighting each other, and like you want to see who's gonna pummel each other. It's like boxing. Think of it, and people get excited over boxing. Who's gonna knock someone out? So fighting games is like the virtual reality of boxing, I would say.
And what kind of sort of relationships do you think it sort of builds between people when it is sort of like boxing?
Just a lot of hype, a lot of you make new friends, and everyone's just having a good time. You experience like that Kodak moment that people always want to like have, and it's just amazing because most of my friends now are from the video game community. So like you just meet a lot of good people, and you just have awesome memories. And you only live life once, so might as well just go out with a bang.
Nice. Let me see here. All right. One of my colleagues, actually, when I was tweeting about this the other night when I was here, noted that I was basically the only girl in the room when I was taking pictures. I've seen a couple of females playing in the background, but why do you think there aren't more women in this
I think
genre?
Well, the thing is, I think in video games in general, when you play competitively, it's very discouraging because you kind of feel like, oh, I'm not doing too good, so I don't know, I should stay home and watch. But I think there is a large female group, but I think they're really scared to come out to these things, which is understandable because a lot of people are scared to just like put themselves out there and just says, I hope I do good, I hope I don't embarrass myself. But I just think in general that a lot of people are like that, even males.
You're right.
But I also think that females do like to play, and they like to play video games a lot.
Yeah. Well, I like to play
Yeah.
video games a lot, so yeah. And sort of looking online, I've been studying some of you guys and the way that you guys interact with each other on Twitter and so on and so forth. You seem like a very warm and friendly community sort of online. And then when we get here, there's a lot of yelling and screaming and so on and so forth. How much of that is, real, and how much of that is sort of bravado?
It actually depends where the tournament is. So if you're like in the East Coast, people get a lot, very hype.
Okay.
But in the West Coast, like California, it's very laid back, chill, and like golf claps, basically. So I guess it just depends on the culture and how they raise their communities up in general. So like for Atlanta, they like to get loud, they like to just smack talk, which is part of the game, which is also fun. But like in New York, they like to just scream and like throw chairs and stuff like that. But no one gets hit. And then California is like, oh, that's really good. It's like a bunch of professors just studying the
Yeah.
stuff. So it just depends where you go.
That's brilliant. All right. So how does one become a competitive gamer?
You have Xbox, a PS3, buy the fighting game, and check shoryuken.com for like nearest tournaments. And there's a matchmaking section where if you're like, let's say you're from Atlanta, people post in the Atlanta forum saying, okay, this is where we gather up on the weekends, this is where we session. So you're just getting into the scene, finding a local scene and supporting your local scene. It just helps build a reputation, it builds more player base, and it builds more competition. So it's very easy, it's very open for anyone to enter the tournaments.
Okay. So is this how you make your living?
Well, this is my side. I also work a community manager position in California for like a video game company. So I guess this is like more of a side thing, but I'm actually taking it a lot more seriously because companies are throwing more money into it.
Oh.
And this is like my sponsor, so they fly me out to the events.
Wow, wow. So why are more companies getting so interested in this? What is the big draw? Is it just
Well, I think that video games are like the future of sports because like everyone has seen basketball for like 100 years or so. Everyone has seen the soap operas on TV, and TV is not really doing so well. It's all about streaming from Twitch TV, and like you can do anything on Twitch TV, and watching competitive video gamers go at it for free. It's basically watching like the ESPN version.
yeah? Basically, yes. So what is your sort of training schedule like?
I guess my training schedule will be just playing the game, practicing my combos, meaning like the strategies I use to defeat my opponents, probably like 2 hours a day, and then also playing with like the people I live with, and we just play with each other, just try to learn, just try to gain more experience, and then go into these tournaments so we can make sure like we always stay on top.
About how many hours a week do you say?
Maybe like 10 hours. I used to go crazy like 20 hours back in the day, but I think I got to the level where I just need like a friendly reminder, so it's not that rough.
So do you plan to basically do this forever? Like how long do you think
No,
you're gonna
I think my hands are gonna like give up sooner or later. But like I'm 26 right now, and one of the best Street Fighter players in the world is 33. So I think I still have a good maybe decade.
Yeah.
Well, it just depends because the community has grown really big, and I've grown really fond of it. So even if I retire, I would probably be a supporter, like maybe an organizer to hold tournaments, just make sure the scene keeps growing and growing.
Very cool. And finally, what do you think makes you so good at this?
Just a lot of practice and a lot of dedication. Like when I was young, I was I was really bad at video games. So I wanted to be really, really good, and I just kept going from there. And I had really good teachers and mentors. So I'm just making sure I do them proud, and making sure that the community keeps going, because a lot of people rely on me to like go in the future. But right now, I want to make sure that if I stop playing, you have these people to go towards the future.
So you mentor other players as
Yes.
well. Fantastic. All right, that's all that I've got. Do you have any?
Okay.